So in the last two trainings, I talked about picking the right market by finding a starving crowd, figuring out how to charge what it's worth. And in this video, this is one of my most impactful concepts that has changed my life. And it's understanding how to create value out of thin air. It's understanding the perception around value in your prospects' minds. All right, if you want to check out the other videos, you can go to acquisition.com, but let's dive in. The value equation, offer component number 3. All right, so your offer might not be converting because what you are offering is not valuable enough. Simply put, it is not valuable enough. So we have to increase the value itself. And in order to increase the value, you have to understand what makes value, what creates value from a perception, from a perceptual standpoint. All right, what is the framework? So here's how you can increase value. All right, so there's 4 pieces, and this is this equation. All right, so you can screenshot this, you can write this down. This equation changed my life. It took me a long time to kind of come up with this and rework it. And I believe that this is the best distillation of these ideas, which is you have to make sure, like, the better the dream outcome, the better the outcome of what we are selling someone, the more value the person is going to have and attach to our service or product. The likelihood that they achieve that outcome with our service and product in and of itself increases value. And I'm going to explain what that means in a second. Now you have this big line, all right? So those are the things that increase value, is the stuff on the top side of the equation. And the stuff on the bottom side of the equation are the things that decrease value, all right? Which is, how long is it going to take them? What's the time delay between purchase and achieving the result? And then effort and sacrifice, which is, how much are they going to have to do? How much are they going to have to suffer in order to get the result? And so if you think about this from a theoretical standpoint, if I could achieve this amazing dream outcome with 100% likelihood and it happened instantly and they didn't have to do anything, that would be the ultimate valuable thing. That is the idea. And so in theory, someone could just think of something because it's so easy to transact with my business, and it literally appeared in front of them with no effort immediately. And it was exactly the way we wanted. That would be supremely valuable. And that is the idea that we're chasing after. And I think all of us entrepreneurs should be chasing that hypothetical perfection. And if you think about that as your gold standard, then you always have a direction to be able to move your products and services in. All right. So let's break down each of these in more detail. So dream outcome. Is the end result meaningful to them? So a lot of times, especially newer entrepreneurs, they always think they have to do something like crazy unique. And a lot of times you just need to be really good at the thing. None of the businesses I've had have been really unique. They've just been better at doing a core thing and solved a unique problem in a nuanced way. And so fundamentally, we have our person here. Hopefully you can see it in the video, little guy. And the end result is they have, where they're on top of this little mountain of achievement. And this little path, this travel, is that as long as there's a gap between there, then there's an outcome that they don't have that they would like to have, right? And so the reason that I bring this one up is that this is most important when understanding the price points between different industries or different problems being solved. So for example, if I could make you $1 million, right, then that would be more meaningful for many people than losing 20 pounds. Right? It just is, right? And so because that might be more meaningful to you, you'd be willing to pay me more for that outcome, which inherently means that if you want to make more money, figure out ways to solve more expensive problems, right? So point number 1 is making sure that the dream outcome for your prospects is meaningful to them. The second is around risk, all right? So this is the perceived likelihood of achievement. Do they think they're actually going to succeed if they buy from you, right? So let me give you an example around this. If I had 2 surgeons that you were thinking about getting a procedure from, all right? And for one guy, it was his first surgery out of medical school, and the other guy was his 10,000th surgery. Which one would you be willing to pay more for? Well, probably the 10,000th guy, right? But here's what's ironic. It probably takes that guy less time than the first hour surgeon, right? But that's okay because we're willing to pay that because our perceived likelihood of him doing a good job is significantly higher. And the reason that's valuable to us is because it decreases our risk of a negative outcome. And so in a real way, the more success you create for clients, the more future value you create. So if I had only built one multiple 8-figure business, then, I would have something to land on, right? But if I've built 5, right, then you see that as a more repeatable outcome, right? It's more likely that what I'm doing is good, right? And statistically, just as a fun fact for you, it's 0.4%. So 1 in 250, 1 in every 250 businesses is an 8-figure business. And so it would be a 0.4% chance to achieve it one time. If I've done it 5 times, then the likelihood would be 0.4 times 0.4 times 0.4 times 0.4 times 0.4, which equals a very, very, very low number. Or there's a successful framework that we can repeat over and over again. All right. And that's why we've been able to do that. And so it's because this stuff works. All right.